So I'm at Walmart and I wanted to show you, watch the calories. This is the G. Hughes Polynesian. This one is the clucking sauce. You can see it has 100 calories. The Yum Yum has 120. The honey mustard is 20. So I just wanted to let you all know that this G. Hughes stuff, while it's yummy and stuff, you just gotta watch the calories on them before you take it home. So here's what I come home with food-wise. 3 of these unsweetened almond milks. I have 2 already, so total. But I bought 3 of these blonde roast coffees. Now, our skinny girl is kind of hit and miss. So, I like the poppy seed. I bought 3 of the skinny girl poppy seed, 2 of the raspberry vinaigrette, and 2 of the balsamic vinaigrettes. And I got to have my Frigo Parmesan, 2 of these small bacon pieces things. I got 3 cauliflower rice frozen. I bought some other veggies yesterday at Schnucks, but I was at Walmart this morning. So, and then, you know me, if I see a sale sign, as evident by those dumb steaks I bought last night, but, what can I say? These are $1.94. Now, I know that's a good deal. That much I know. And this is pork. It's 6.73 pounds. So it's pork steaks. I hear some parts of the United States, the country, I'm trying to say, doesn't have pork steaks per se. Basically, what a pork steak is a thick sliced pork butt. And so they just take a pork butt, bone and all. Where's the bone? There's the bone and all. So sometimes I'll fry it up in a pan. Sometimes I will crock pot it, just depending on what time and my mood. I'm going to pop these in the freezer because I will pull them out another day. But for, just heard about the cows, those 10, hang on, drop something. Those 10,000 cows dying, and I'm not into conspiracy theories or anything, but, I'm just saying that's a lot of cows to die and a lot of meat. And so, I don't know what's going to happen to our meat and our food. So I bulk buy when I get the chance. So yeah, so I bought those since they were $1.94, and I'll have them for future reference. And then I'm like, hey, this is America and monkeypox and whatnot. So I bought a whole bunch. It's just me. But I bought a whole bunch of toilet paper, a whole bunch of puffs, and a whole bunch of Bounty. Because I'm like, yeah, I'd rather buy this now than need it later. So there's my Walmart purchase. Now I'll get to and I got some. I've never bought the pods for washing my clothes. And I've never bought Gain before. But I saw it had the Oxy and the Febreze. So if you've tried these, the pods or flings as Gain calls it. If you've tried them, let me know what you think about them in the comments. If they're good, if they're bad, whatever. But yep, so that's my morning. What is it? 7:30 in the morning now. So, and it was the sweetest thing. This little old man, this early in the morning, they only have self-checkout. And this little old man, he just got there and he was like, I'm not looking for the scanner. I need a person. And the lady who kind of monitors it and patrols it, she heard him and she went out there. She's like, come here. So she stood there with him in that little scan, the self-checkout, and she checked him out and did it that way herself. It was the sweetest thing. I was just like, oh, I love small towns. We're not that small. It's about 60,000, but compared to some place like New York, Chicago, it's a small town. I love where I'm from. I usually show you after I've got the meat in here, but I'm going to do my pork loin. And this is one of the ones that, like I said, I bought something with the bone in it, and then I cut it up, and I have string on here. And I think let me see if I can just take it off. Yeah, it's kind of softened up enough. Because I originally was thinking, oh yeah, I could put something in the middle of it and make it like a stuffed pork loin, but that didn't, see that? That didn't work. And let's face it, that's not my style of cooking. So now I have to dispose of this without getting juice and stuff all over the floor. Okay, so there's one. And now, my gloves are gross, so I gotta, there we go. That's why you should have everything ready before you put on your gloves. Now I'm gonna do the ground beef in this one. I usually use bags, but I don't know. Whatever. Sometimes I just do stuff and don't know why. Or I do stuff without planning. That's the issue. So I decided to put this all in right now. I was going to wait till after I had breakfast because I'm real hungry. Just took the dogs for a walk and I'm super hungry. Then I was like, you know, why wait? Just get stuff in the crock pot, get it ready. So then I don't have to deal with that part. So, you see I still have stuff up here from shopping, but y'all know your girl's a hot mess, so whatever. Whatever. Trying to get this is a new crock pot, so I have to get the little tie off of the outlet cord. Okay, so I'm going to put this on low, put this one on low. I'm getting some water. I like enough water to almost cover the ground beef. So as it cooks, it doesn't stick and get all hard on the edges. I'm going to see about the pork loin, how much I choose. Yeah, it's about that far from the top. I'm not going to season the pork loin this week. I seasoned it as I put the barbecue sauce on it, and let's face it, that's what I'm going to do regardless. So it's kind of silly to do a whole bunch of seasonings on it just to put something on top of it. I'd be better off just putting some salt in it, but I'll use the broth for the dogs. So that's what I got going for the crock pots. And then I will, I'll show you the steaks after I eat. I'm going to let them sit out and get closer to room temperature. And then we'll get to those. Just funny, you know you have a hoarding problem when you have one little basket of your open flavor enhancers and one basket of your sealed flavor enhancers. And I just took several of them to work. So yeah, you know you have a hoarding problem when you have to differentiate the two. All right, we got to cook up these steaks. I'm going to put a little bit of avocado oil just because it was the quickest I saw. Let's hope we don't start a fire like I did last week or a couple weeks ago. I think it was bacon grease I put in that day. That was pretty intense. Never did that before. But I'm doing it on medium heat. And we're going to start, where's my tongs? Oh, right there. Hang on. Gotta get the meat package open here. This one is ribeye steaks thin. So I've heated up my cast iron skillet. You can maybe hear it sizzling. Get some seasonings on it. But I'm going to cook to I'll do 3 minutes on each side. This. I'm going to do this total seasoning on this one. So I've got my ice maker going beneath you, so you're going to be hearing that every now and then. It's actually pretty quiet. And this is onion salt. So I'm going to just do that, and I'm going to do it, like I said, 3 minutes on each side. I covered it for the last couple of minutes, but these are the thin ones. So I'm going to put them in here. After I cook them all, I'll just put them all in here so they can rest, and then I'll cut them up later. So now, let me get some more. These are also thin. I figure while the cast iron is at its not at its highest, I'll start with the thin ones. Ah. Well, I was hoping to get this other one in here, but I don't think it'll fit. So, 1, 2, 3. I'll do 3 minutes on those two, and 3 minutes on each side. 3 minutes on each side for those two, and 3 minutes on each side for this one. Then I'll show you the thicker ones. And here's how they're looking. That's the thin ones. Now I'm going to do the thicker ones. I pulled the skillet off the heat for just a couple seconds. I might give it a minute or so, and then I'll come back for the others. The thing we know with cast iron is it just holds that heat in very well, which is a good thing. But so now this is a cowboy ribeye steak. No clue what that even means. I didn't know a thing about meat until I started eating this way, and there's a whole lot of still don't know about meat, like the different cuts and stuff. Come on, Terry, get your act together here. Forget it. Let's go into it. So it's a very thick ribeye. Good night, Gertrude. I'm having the worst time. I don't know if that means it's from a certain place or a certain, if that means it really is a ribeye. No clue. But I've got my my thing on 4. Like 5 is my medium, so I turned it down to 4. And I'm going to cover this, and I'm going to let it go about 4 minutes. And then I'll flip it for 4 minutes and see how I cover it, because for me that's what gets that middle done. So, alright, see you in 4 minutes. I'll probably season it too. Let me just show you my hoarding. I didn't know. I looked in my pantry. I was looking to see if I had any of these dressings that I just bought. Look what I found. 1 adobo. 2 adobo. 3 adobo. I obviously don't look at my pantry before I go shopping. That's how and why I hoard. Alright, it's been 4 minutes. So I'm going to flip this bad boy over. Ooh, that's got a pretty sear. I think I'm going to turn it up back to medium. Get some more. I seasoned the other side already. I try to do it as soon as I flip it. I don't know why. I don't even know if it makes a difference. Alright, I'm going to do this one. I think I'm going to do another 4 minutes. So that was 4 minutes on the other, 4 minutes on this one. So, ideally, I would just take this off and pop it in the oven. But I still got more to cook, and my other one is super heavy, so I don't want to use it because it's real deep. And I'd rather just keep using what I'm using for what I'm doing it for. So I'm putting it in this, I'm going to put it in the oven for a little bit because I just checked it and it is 108. So it needs to go in more. So I'm going to leave it in the oven. I'm going to do it for, yeah, I literally just put the oven on 350, so it is not, I'm going to do it 15 minutes and then I'll check the temperature. So in the meantime, I'm going to work on these over here, these other steaks. Where did I put the Terry? All right. These are thin enough that I will cook them all the way in the skillet. Ooh, it sure is a smoking. Okay, got it down on 4. These I'm comfortable cooking all the way. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do 4 minutes on each side of these. And this garlic salt or onion salt comes out fast. So now those I'm going to do, I'll cover and then do 4 minutes and 4 minutes. I want to take a minute to show you. Now, it does not get hot enough in, where's my hand? I think that's the cutest little thing. But it doesn't get hot enough to melt the wax. I guess maybe I need a taller candle. I don't know. But it's the cutest little thing. It's like a little campfire with a cast iron skillet over it. And it's supposed to have like some wax in it, and that melts it. But mine doesn't have enough heat. But it's just fun because it's cast iron, and we know I love cast iron. So, alright, I had to point that out because it's so cute. Oh, but let me pause you and I'll be back when that's going. Alright, it's been 4 minutes. Ooh, that's nice and seared. It's picking up that caramel from the bottom, from the seasonings that adhere to the pan underneath. So for me, since I cover it, and that helps get the inside done. But I'm not going to cover this side. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we go 4 again. Alright, it's been 4 minutes and 4 minutes. Stick my little jobber in here. 140 something. Hard thing about these, you don't know how far you're going in. That's in the low 140s. So I'm going to take them off and be happy with that. Let's go ahead and get these last 2 going. These are those fancy Delmonico steaks that I had no idea what I was doing. But hey, they're going to taste doggone good. That's for sure. Oh, come on. Just get them in and then I'll pull the paper off. There we go. Hey. Alright, so I have not had to add any more oil or anything to it. So I'd let you know that part. It's all, you know, of course as they're cooking, they're making some of their own oil. The more and more I cook, and whenever I cover them, it does cook a little bit more of that fat out of there. So it does render more juices. and fat. So I'm going to do these the same way, 4 minutes and 4 minutes. Got two things going on at the same time. My timer went off for the steak. Maybe been a little too long. Well, it's 1:54. I'm okay with that. This timer's about to go off. I need to flip. So let me turn off the oven. And flip these. Whenever I cut into that steak, we'll see. I don't mind medium, or medium well, I mean, you know. It's going to be good regardless. I just don't want it to be tough as leather. So I prefer medium when I go out, like some pink. But I don't want to cut into it to find out. Ow. So 4 minutes on this one is left, and then I'm going to let this one rest till I come back, and we'll see what it looks like inside. In the meantime, I'm cutting up the thinner ones and the previous ones I cooked, and I've been chopping down my my ground beef. You've seen me do that 100 times. Every hour I just go in and mush it down. So the other steak has about a minute and a half, but I'm cutting up the one I did a while ago. That's good. That's a good amount. I'd consider this probably medium well, but yeah, like I'm cutting into it. Definitely a lot of fat in it. So whenever I divvy all this up, I will, like when I do my lean meat, I do 7 ounces, but with this fattier, again, there's some more. That's 4 minutes on each side. I could probably do 3, but that's good for me right there. I have been talking to y'all for about 20 minutes. Watch out, puppy dog. I poured in some red wine, probably about 2 tablespoons, and then probably about a 1/4 cup of heavy cream, because I can't just let this go to waste. So now I'm just gonna let this all warm up. I've got it down on number 3. I'm gonna let this all warm up and then thicken up, because I can't just leave this for nothing. I mean, that's good stuff in the bottom. I could put this over my ground beef. I could put this over vegetables. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna let this warm up and melt that cheese, and then I'll get back to you and let it thicken up too. I had bought a bag of this stuff, glucomannan. It's buried in my cabinet, so I can't show you. But I have it in this little container, and I'm shaking out a little bit at a time just to thicken it up instead of xanthan gum. I've heard Kim, oh my gosh, Kim, holy crap, I follow her, Howerton, good golly. I heard her talk about it before, and she said it's not as slimy, and she's right. It will thicken things up on you quickly, so I do a little at a time and kind of let it go for a few minutes and then add a little more. Something I do want to say, so doing stuff like this right here, this is how carbs creep up. This is how calories creep in. So I usually do, I'm just processing what I'm going to do with it. And I usually do 7 ounces of my lean ground beef. And I'm probably going to put it on that. So I think I'm going to, instead of doing 7 to kind of counterbalance it, I'm going to do 6 ounces of it. Because this does have, the oil and fat from the, the rendered fat from the steaks, along with the fat from the heavy cream. So I don't want to overdo all my fat. So I'm going to put this in a little bowl and let it just kind of chill while I'm working until my ground beef is done. So all those steaks, I did 6-ounce servings, and it made, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 10 meals. So that's 5 days worth of meals, and then an extra 5-ounce one. So I'll put a little thing on this so I know that one, that's not a full meal. I'll probably add some ground beef to it, maybe like, 2 ounces. Anyway, so I scrub out. My phone's getting smoky because it's close to the thing. Whew, hang on, let me read. There we go, that's better. I ran my skillet under hot water and then add a little bit of Dawn and washed it out. Then I set it back on my burner on high, and I added some flaxseed oil, just a little bit, and while it was hot to let that absorb in there. And there you go. I don't know if that's it's a scratch. Anyway, so it's clean and ready to hang up when I'm all done. So yeah, so that's the steak bites. We still have my pork loin going. And then my ground beef, I just chopped it up. Let's see, I put it on at, I think at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 11:30, so this probably has another good hour to go. This was a new crock pot, so, but just looking at it, it probably has 2 hours to go. So yeah, I'm gonna put the leftover juices from my steak into here just to kind of thin it out a little bit. And yeah, I'll show you more in a little while. So this is my first load of dishes. There's a few things from back there from yesterday and the day before eating. This is a lot of work. There's no going around it. I've been messing 8, 9, 10, 11. I've been messing around for 3 hours. However, I don't typically do all the steak stuff. So today it was longer. Usually, it's not a steady thing. Walk in, chop up the meat, go back and play my video game. But now, the thing about it is, if I get hungry in the week, I have no excuses. I have no reason to whip into McDonald's. I have no reason to, to cheat. I have no excuses. It's literally all here, and it's all readily available when it's all done, and it'll be in the refrigerator. So there's literally no reason for me to fail or cheat. So this is why I do what I do, and how I've been able to stay successful this whole time is because I take the 3-4 hours on the weekend, cook up my food, and then I'm done. So like I said, I'm going to run this load, and then when that's done and dry, of course I'll have to wash those, and then that little bowl over there. But then for the rest of the week, I'm just going to have little containers like that, and that's all. I'll have 3 containers a day. One for my breakfast, one for my lunch, and one for my supper. So that's why I do what I do. Then throughout the week, all I have to do is heat it up. If you're working with a family, then you can do bigger batches of your ground beef and put it in 2-3 pound containers, and then just heat up some frozen vegetables with it, or have salads with it. Whatever is going to work for your family. If they're not low carb, cook a baked potato or sweet potato or whatever they want. But that's how it would work with the family. You just make bigger portions, and you pop it in the freezer, and you pull it out through the week. But you're not heating your oven every day. You're not having to stand over a hot stove every day. It's all done. So you don't have to drive home from work and be like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I really would rather stop into McDonald's than go home and cook. Nope. That's not a thing. Because you're going to go home and pop a little bowl into the microwave, and that's that. So I'm just saying, spend the 3-4 hours one time a week, and it's smooth sailing the rest of the time. 6 of my protein coffees. It is I use the blonde roast because of Starbucks. It is the lowest carbohydrate and calorie content one that I found. So I use this, and then I use unsweetened almond milk. I use 1/2 scoop of the Isopure zero carb cookies and cream protein. You can use whatever kind you want. You know, I just use this brand. You could totally use whatever you like. So it's, oh Lord, math, 55 calories, but it's 0 sugars and 0 carbs. Then ignore that. That's dog treats. Unless you feel like you want some rawhide. That's peanut butter flavored. Then a 1/2 scoop of the keto collagen. Let's see. I used to plug everything into Chronometer. So calories, 1/2 scoop would be 40. Carbs, 1/2 scoop would be 1 carb. So that is how, oh, and then I guess, okay. How many, this was 0 carbs. That's 1 carb. So we'll do the math. This is 2 carb. I use about, this right here made 3 of them. So we're going to say 3 carbs. So together that's 4 carbs. And then a serving of this is 1 carb. So approximately 5 carbs in my coffees. But yeah, like I said, you can go back to my old videos where I plugged it all in Chronometer if you're wanting the exact calories and carb count in my day. My schnooks was out of the Good Culture cottage cheese. So I have a couple of the cottage cheese yogurts left that I'll be using this week, and then I'll be switching to just Too Good yogurt. I use the plain low-fat yogurt. So 90 plus 90, you can 180, 3, so 6. It'll be 6 carbs and 180 calories. Yeah. So that's what I'll be having. Like I said, I've got 3 left of the old ones, and then I'll be switching to these, but I'm going to go on and get these made. So I kind of sort of sliced the pork loin. I'm going to put this in the oven at 400. I kind of want to see if I can crisp up the fatty edges and see what happens. It may work, it may not. You know, got to experiment every now and then. Here are my little microwave dinners. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. And because I ran out of these containers, I'm going to get more as soon as I go to Walmart again. And I divided that reduction that I made out of the bits from the steaks. I did put a little scoop of that in each of them. These are 6 ounces of the 93% with the big blob of that reduction I made. And over here it's going to be, I took 2 bags of green beans and split it up. And I took 1 bag of cauliflower rice and divided it up. I took 1 bag of mushrooms and divided it up. And 1 package of, from the produce section, the red onions. So just pick the vegetables you like. And then I'll season them. Oh, I think I'm going to put different seasonings on them. Anyway, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put different seasonings on it like I did last time. And then I'll pop some in the freezer and leave a couple out. That's my timer telling me the meat's done. So there's the leftover juice from the meat, and I'll pour that into bowls for the dogs. And that will be the end of my meal prep today. That's how the sliced pork loin turned out. It's going to be pretty good. It's got a nice little crispy sear on it. Look at that. Look at that crust on that fat cat. Heck yeah. That's some good stuff, Maynard. So now I got to package that up. I don't have any scissors out. Hang on. Put my scissors together. I'm just going to do it. 4 ounces. Okay, 6 ounces. I know it's a pork loin, but it seems a little fattier. with that fat cap, and just, it seems a little more juicy than a lot of the pork loins. So, and you know what? That's dumb. I know that I'm going to be mad at myself for not chopping this up into bite-sized pieces. I'll be like, dang it, Terry. And then I'll have to do it. So, you know, I saw somewhere, I don't remember what it was or where I saw it, but they were saying something about, you know, be nice to your tomorrow self. And so, it won't be tomorrow probably, but the future. Be nice to your future self. Eat healthy today. Go to the gym today. Take out the trash today. Whatever it is that future self would appreciate. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm being nice to future Terry. But you don't need to watch me cut all these up and put them together. You'll be seeing them as it's eating time, but man, I like this crunchy. That's pretty cool. I'm going to have to try that with other things, you know, with other meats that I cook and stuff. But anyway, well, I'm all messy-handed. Let me do this one. Let me get 6 ounces for this one, and then I'll cut you off. So yeah, fatty-ish meat, I try to do 6 ounces. Lean stuff, I do 7. Unless I add stuff like I did today with that reduction I put over on my little microwave meals. All right, anyway, that's all. You don't have to watch me do the rest of it. You see the outcome of it. It's going to be delicious, and you'll see all these meals this week. Sorry I took so long. Love y'all. Bye.